Hi everybody, it's Jenny coming to you from my house. Social distancing. Last week of social distancing, I'm going to try to get us together next Sunday from 5:30 to 7:15-ish. I'll let you know for sure when the time comes, see what we got planned. But I wanted to give you today's lesson. And this lesson I'm going to pull up on my screen share so that you don't look at me and you can see my computer. There we go. And again, you don't want to see my ugly mug. All right, so today we're going to talk about inconveniences. I want you to think for a second about your favorite Bible story. Are you thinking about it? Okay, so every favorite Bible story has two things. First of all, something wonderful happens in it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been recorded in the Bible. The second thing that happened is that someone was inconvenienced. One more time. Every Bible story, all of your favorite Bible stories, two things happen. Something wonderful and something that is inconvenient. So I want to give you some examples. The first one is Mary. Something wonderful happened to Mary. She was chosen to give birth to God, God's Son, Jesus. That's wonderful, but it's very inconvenient. She was embarrassed of being pregnant while she was not married. She had the responsibility of raising Jesus, if you can imagine that responsibility. And she sat by the sidelines and watched her son tortured and killed. Zacchaeus, that's one of my favorite Bible stories. It is wonderful because Jesus went after and got into the home of a sinful tax collector to eat dinner, and he changed his life forever. Zacchaeus' life was changed forever. The inconvenience, Jesus didn't really have time to do that. He was on a schedule. He had places to be. He took heavy criticism for eating with sinners, even from his own disciples. He took criticism. Noah, something wonderful happened to him. He saved all of mankind, all of animal kind. But it was pretty inconvenient. As Noah was building this ark, he was the laughing stock of the area. They thought he was crazy for building a boat, especially that big. And then probably even worse, can you imagine being on a boat with all of those animals going to the bathroom and having to feed them all and all the racket and noise? That's pretty inconvenient. And finally is the story of Jonah. God called Jonah to go to the city of Nineveh, and that was a sinful city. They were doing all kinds of horrible pagan things, and Jonah was scared. It ended up being wonderful because Jonah was able to take the people in Nineveh and change the culture to where they were no longer living in their sinful ways. But this was very inconvenient to Jonah. He ran away from God. He got thrown off of a boat overboard in the middle of the ocean and in the sea, and he got swallowed up by a big fish. Pretty inconvenient. So there's no two ways about it. Doing God's work is inconvenient. And that's the first point that I want to talk to you about today. This same idea holds true today. Think about a line. Look at the red line. That line represents God's perfect will for your life. He has a grand plan in store for you. He created you for a purpose. The problem is we don't know what that purpose is. And that's the way that he designed it, because we're forced to trust in him, follow where he leads, and learn along the way. Our will, which is represented by the white, is usually not his will. We strive for things that really eternally don't matter. Success in school, popularity among friends, fun, eventual wealth, and all of these things that only matter short term. God's will for us is to build character and develop us into followers of Christ, and to bring other followers of Christ along the way. So I have a scripture, it comes from 2 Corinthians 2:17. For this light momentary affliction, so this short-term affliction that you may be facing is preparing you for the eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. So this is saying that your problems seem catastrophic right now, or you will come into problems in your life that feel catastrophic. In the eternal light, these are actually going to be small things, and they are preparing you for glory beyond all comparison. So when we follow our wills, going back to this picture, we do so without regard to Christ. It moves us away from God and towards our own self-reliance. God did not create you to be self-reliant. God created you to be God-reliant. The inconveniences of God will usually make you vulnerable to others. You may be laughed at because, oh, you saw an extra cart in the Walmart parking lot and you're going to move it to where it belongs inside. Maybe God is calling you to befriend somebody who's not in your normal circle of friends, and that may eventually cause you a little bit of embarrassment or humility, but you've got to make yourself vulnerable to others in order to follow God's will. Again, it is never convenient. God's will is always inconvenient in our eyes, but in his eyes, he's got the big picture and he can lead you in directions you never thought were possible. Number 2 is that you will never find the wonderful in your life if you're never willing to be inconvenienced. It's through these inconveniences that the people of the Bible were pulled closer to God. For example, Mary would not have known the wonder of being Jesus's mother. Zacchaeus would not have known the wonder of changing his ways. Noah would not have known the wonder of saving all of humankind. And Jonah would never have known the wonder of moving sinful people toward God. The same is true today. If we go about our days only looking out for ourselves, we will miss the wonders of being with and helping those around us. We will miss out on the wonders of moving our own hearts towards God and his will for our life. We will miss out on his plan for our creation. So now I ask you, okay, now what? So what? Now what? Here's what I want you to do. Go out this week and look for ways that God can inconvenience you. Put others' needs above your own. Listen for that small, still voice of God as he calls you to be inconvenienced. At the end of each day, I want you to reflect on how you might have changed the world that day. One little act at a time, one small act of inconvenience at a time, and you will find the eternal and internal peace of God. I love you guys. I am still praying for you on a regular basis. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Pray that we can make this happen next Sunday. Get back together, play some games, do a lesson, and just be face to face to love one another. Love you guys. Oh, and next Sunday is graduation Sunday. We've got Nick Sager, Nikki Assad, Colby Griffin, and Colin Rindle, all graduating this year from high school. So keep them in your prayers. It's a kind of an odd time to be graduating from high school, and they are not getting as much recognition as they deserve because of this whole virus thing. I love you guys, and just share God's love with each other. Bye.